Hello, my name's Rob and welcome to Swift Slots. So my most favourite racing car shape of all time is the Porsche 917K, and my most favourite livery on a racing car is the Golf livery. And in my opinion, the most impressive slot car scale is 1/24th scale, and in my opinion, the most exclusive brand within 1/24th scale slot cars, mainstream brand, is BRM. So you can imagine my delight when Slot 32 told me that BRM had just released another batch of Porsche 917Ks, and some of them were in Golf colours. I said, I'm definitely up for that. Can you please sort me out with one? And he was happy to oblige. So, with thanks to Slot 32, I'm able to bring you this review of the BRM Porsche 917K Golf liveried slot car. But before we do that, I'd like to show you on Slot 32's website a rather unique feature, and I'll take you through it now. Okay, so if you go onto slot32.de, their website, and click at the top of the page, your language. Then, on the left-hand side, click Cars. Once you're in Cars, click the BRM 1/24th scale. Then, once you're in the 1/24th scale BRM section, click Legends. Then, once you're in Legends, click Porsche 917K. Okay, so now you're in the BRM Porsche 917 section of Slot 32's website. If you look at the top, you will see 5 links. Those links take you directly to real-life information all about the Porsche 917K. Now, having these links at the top of the page to the real-life car is a unique feature of Slot 32, and it's in an attempt to match up the model car to the history of the real-life car, so that you'll have a greater understanding of the history behind the car you're interested in buying. As you scroll down the page to see all the different cars and white kits that have been available and are available, you'll also see there's a number of links to the brochure that refers to each chassis. That brochure is the exact same brochure found within your 1/24th scale BRM Porsche 917K slot car. Okay, so with all BRM cars, they come in these very nice cardboard full print boxes with all the details on the end and the little sticker in the corner to tell you what's inside. We've all seen these before, there's nothing new here, but they're very, very nice. And there we are. Inside the box we have a very nice protective cover to keep the car in the box and pushed down so it doesn't rattle around loose. And then we have the car. And in the car we have the all-important sticker. Every manufacturer should supply stickers and a ready available amount of them. Really, really important in slot cars, I think, to advertise, and stickers is a really cheap way of doing it. Stickers. Make note, manufacturers. We want more. And then inside the box we have the very famous instruction manual. Very well known by BRM. Extremely comprehensive. All the parts are listed with all the part numbers. And then most importantly, on the back, you have all the spare parts and all the upgrade parts needed to support your car. The car itself has a little pull tab at the back to get it out of the box. Not that it's difficult to take out the box anyway. And on the underside, you have this nice plastic M3 wing nut, which holds the car nice and securely screwed into the chassis. And there we have the absolutely beautiful Porsche 917K made by BRM. This is an absolutely stunning, stunning car with so much presence, it's mad. Absolutely beautiful car. Very, very nicely done by BRM. So a little walk around the car. You can see the extremely highly detailed wheels and printing on the tyres. Very nice printed tampos. Again, the front wheel, beautifully done. Lovely clean prints on the tyres. Round to the front, we have the air intake. We have very, very nice windscreen wiper. And in 24th scale, all these details appear finer because the whole body is bigger. So these parts here can be slightly thicker, or as thick as a 32 scale, for example, which is strong enough. But because the car is bigger, it makes them appear finer and gives the whole car a little bit more finesse, which is a lot nicer, in my opinion, than some of the 1/32 scale cars. We've got a fuel filler, I assume, some other filler here, I don't know, maybe coolant, I don't know, whatever. And then we have the famous Porsche fan in the back, a little tiny wing on the back of the car. We got these lovely grills, and again in 24th scale these grills appear more scale-like because the whole body's bigger, so these bars can be bigger whilst being in scale and still retain a lot of strength. So all this detail comes out much cleaner on a 24th scale car. You've also got the black window rubber around the windows, all of them, which again isn't something that necessarily shows up on a 32nd scale car, but on a 24th scale car is extremely viable detail, and it all shows up really well. On the front headlights, something to note, we've actually got detail inside of the headlights, and also you'll notice the headlights are in exactly the correct position for the Porsche 917K. They got the detail spot on. And on the other side we have a continuation of the tampo printing, and I thought the missing O around the black ring, was a mistake, but it's not. It's on everything, so that is correct. So this side doesn't have it and this side does. And then the back end, very nice detail on the engine and bottom of the gearbox, I presume. Rear lights, again, all these bars can be a lot more substantial in 24th scale because the whole thing is thicker. And also what you'll notice is we've got half, or you may notice you've got half of the wheel detail. Now that's absolutely brilliant because you're not carrying all the extra weight that you don't need on the back end of the slot car. We only see this piece here, so that's the only bit of detail we need, and that's all that's modelled. So the rest of it's not there, which is great because it lowers down the weight of the car, and that's a good thing. So on the underside we've got the beautiful aluminium chassis, which is absolutely synonymous with BRM and the Revo slot, but we're talking about BRM. And we have the pod design in the back with the limited movement and fantastically detailed rubber tyres. Now, as somebody who likes to race slot cars, really, I shouldn't be impressed with tyre tread, because really what I'm looking for is a lovely flat profile, lots and lots of grip. And that's what you do want for racing. But from a modelling perspective and from a modeller's appreciation standpoint, all this tread looks fantastic. So if you're a collector and you're not that bothered about racing, this sort of detail really does mean something. And it means something to me as a racer and as a collector. I just love to see that detail, regardless of whether I'm going to scrub it off or not. We've also got a very nice guide, very deep, as you would find on 24th scale, with very nicely fitted braids. The finish of the paintwork, as you can see, is absolutely superb. It's absolutely flawless. There is no blemishes that I can see anywhere on this car. Very nicely done. The blue is extremely viable. The colour seems bright. It's exactly as I would expect it to be. Some Gulf liveries, the colours can be a little bit wishy-washy. The blue can be a bit light or a bit dark. This seems, to my eye, to be exactly as the Gulf blue should be. And the orange stripe, flanked with the black lining, is also extremely nicely done without one single bleed anywhere. And again, the orange tone, to my eye, seems 100% spot on. So, the body is actually held on to the chassis via these 3 screws here, and they are 1.5mm Allen keys. So, to get the body off, we just undo them. So up front, we got a solid 3mm axle with ball raced blue pillow bearings. That's out the box, very free to turn. We have a nice solid axle at the back, 2 brass spacers, a plastic gear, a brass pinion, long cam motor, blue anodized motor mount screwed in with 3 fixing screws, and we have again blue pillow bearings with bore races on the back end. We've got a full suite of alloy wheels, front and rear, very flexible silicone wire. We have a very nicely sprung front guide that are actually screwed into the front. The wires are actually screwed in, not pushed in with little hats, so they're very, very secure with a good amount of lock. And we've also got the compensation system all on view here. And also inside the fixings we've got rubber spacers to actually damp out some of the chatter in the chassis, or some of the noise, just to smooth it all out. You can see them in there. So there we've got the movement in the chassis. Now these nuts, they can be adjusted for more or less float, and at some point later on I will get round to describing all that as well. The back end is all undoable with a 1.5mm Allen key so that you can adjust it all. We've also got a rubber mount on the back end to keep the body nice and smooth. You've also got rubber mounts on the front as well, 2 little rubber rings inside there, again to keep the body all nice and smooth. As is normal with all BRM cars, we've got a full 2-piece aluminium chassis that's fully adjustable, and also there are a range of upgrades that you can have for this car, which I will go through in a later video. Also, while we got the body off, and it's easy to show, the body contains a very, very nice lightweight interior, which really gives the car a lot better performance because you don't have all that extra weight up top exactly where you don't want it. So we've got a very nice Lexan interior, lightweight engine detail, and also while we got the body off the chassis, I can show you inside the cockpit with a fully detailed cockpit with very, very nice driver. So as standard out of the box, the chassis comes with a ground clearance of 2.4mm front and rear. It also comes set up so that the front guide has a very small amount of vertical float. This would mean that you can run the car straight out the box on track with raised braids or with raised power lines, and the wheels would be in perfect contact with the track as it should be for that type of scenario. And if you needed to lower the guide for tracks where the braid is more level with the track, or if you're using copper tape, then all you would do is you would just fit 1 or 2 shims underneath just to shim it out as you would do normally. So there we are. That's my little review of the BRM Porsche 917K in the Gulf colours. And if you'd like one of these cars and you think that Slot 32 could help you out in acquiring one, by all means give them a shout on the email, and I'm sure if Luke can help you, he most certainly will. So if you've enjoyed this content, maybe you'll subscribe, and if you could hit the little bell button, that would be awesome. So until the next time, thank you very much.